is a wonderful thing. Um, this is, I always say, a gift of communication, and that's true.
Mhm.
Yeah, these are good. These are good points. Get in the chat room, Kareem, New York. Ordinary people can become extraordinary with positive actions. That is true. That's true. So I'm not basically, I'm not trying to be an instructor or a teacher because I'm not an expert at this. I'm just sharing, like, before, in my youth, I wish somebody had poured that into me, the difference, because I was moving ordinary. I found myself saturated in lines, crowds, um, being frustrated, losing confidence, getting discouraged, because I knew I was extraordinary and I knew there were extraordinary things about me, but I didn't use those things because, in the community where I was brought up from, dreaming was like you had to be really resilient to dream because you didn't see people around you, where I grew up, that were really extraordinary people. So I grew up in a community that was poor, down in Miami, and we were not poor, but we was on the cuff of it. But the moral of the story is the people that surrounded my community, a lot of them were not extraordinary people. So to pull data, I didn't have a place to pull it. I really didn't have a place. So extraordinary, like, is like when you, regardless of what situation you're in, what you're surrounding yourself with, who's in your circle, your ability to continue to move towards it, know what you know, believe what you believe, move in silence. And that is so strategic, moving in silence. I cannot express that. Show people who you are. Show them by your actions. Um,
Mhm.
Talk is cheap. That didn't mean a whole lot to me until I got older. Like, I used to hear older people say, talk is cheap. I really didn't know what that meant until I found myself saying things that I wasn't actually doing. I would say it because I mean it. I feel like I could do it. I feel like this is my intention. I'm going to do this. Watch. I'm going to do this. And then when I don't do it, I'm like, yeah, that's very cheap. That's like my talk was on sale. It was really cheap. So I learned to move in silence. I learned to move in silence. Are there any questions? Um, that's right, Ari. Ari, you on fire. Wait till I get you on the show. Um, she said somebody had to be a trailblazer. That is true. Breaking generational cycles, right? That's what happens when if you're raising kids and your kids are more extraordinary than you are. Don't suppress them. I'm gonna say it again. Do not suppress your children. If they want to do something that you cannot identify with, don't don't discourage them. Don't hold them back. They're being extraordinary. You can learn from that situation. You can learn from that. I give you an example. My daughter, she's 5 years old, and we had to choose a poem for her to cite in front of the class, and not knowing what uh, her performance was going to be like or what could she handle or not, we gave her a short poem because we wanted her to succeed. So we gave her a short poem. The girl came home upset after the poem. She realized that her poem was short. And she said, I could have done way more than that. You gave me this little bitty poem. And the moral of the story is she was already extraordinary, but we made her ordinary by giving her something that we felt we were comfortable with learning, but we didn't stretch her. We didn't stretch her. So the moral of the story is, like, sometimes you could do, or a person can do far more than what you think they can or what you think you can. But, suppressing being extraordinary, could cause you to really stagnate, um, your own abilities or someone else's own abilities. So my lesson learned with her is, you know, set higher limits. Even let her set her own limits, because her ability to cite a poem was far extensive than my belief that she could. So I was like, who child is this? Because I can't remember that. So the moral of the story is, um, everybody has something extraordinary about themselves. Everyone. How you doing, Zaza? Zaza, you extraordinary. You're a beast. I know you personally. Veronica, she has a question. What is one piece of advice that you would give to someone who wants to break the cycle of mediocrity and fear and step into being extraordinary? That's a really good question. I'm gonna read that one again. She said, "What is a piece of advice that you would give to someone who wants to break the cycle of mediocrity and fear of stepping into being extraordinary? What advice would you give that person?" And that's a good question because I think, Ariana, that's a personal question. Go ahead, Veronica. What do you think?
Hmm. First, you have to believe in yourself. It starts with yourself first. No matter what nobody is saying, no matter how many no's you get, you're gonna get a yes. And the yes starts with yourself. Don't worry, go for it. If you want to open up any type of business, you have to make the move to do it.
I agree with that.
You get
And
you gotta believe yourself. You gotta put in actions. You gotta get out and do the work. Can't do like I did, waiting on somebody to give me a chance.
I
Because
agree
I
with
never
that.
would have gotten where I am now with Rich, which I had a business before, but I told Rich about my cleaning business. And I said, I made flyers, I made cards. I walked Walmart parking lot and I tagged people mailboxes. I did the work. But when it came to working with Rich, I kind of was like reserved. And he's like, no, you got to get up and be hungry. So you got to be hungry for what you want.
That is phenomenal advice. Like how do you break the cycle? Is you just do.
Yeah,
You just do. You do it scared. You do it nervous. You do it apprehensiveness. You just do it. I don't care what it is. If it's not going to kill you, and just do it. One thing I notice about ordinary people hate to be embarrassed. They always have to have their act together before they move forward. Extraordinary people don't mind
mm-mm.
tripping tripping along the way. If they walking on the stage, they trip over a chord, they'll find a way. They'll joke about it, but they're gonna get on the stage. That's extraordinary. Ordinary people sit in a laboratory a long time. Y'all think about stuff too long, process things too long. Life is going by while you're being ordinary. Somebody's taking your
Mhm.
opportunities and your dreams because you being ordinary. Extraordinary person shows up and be like, "Hey, I was trying to get prepared, but hey, it snuck up on me. I'm here. Well, do the
Yeah,
best you can. All right. Well, let me go." And you never know where that'll put you and where you'll land. Just do. Like the 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 whole thing is just like lotto. Like, don't expect to win if you don't play.
exactly.
Don't expect to be anything more than what you are if you're not willing to do anything more than what you're doing. It's just
Mhm.
Murphy's law. That's a really good question. That's a that is a really good question. Shavana had a question here. How do you remain consistent when transforming from ordinary to extraordinary? You be realistic. I talked about that on a previous show, right? You just be honest with yourself and be realistic, right? You set obtainable, achievable goals realistically, and then you do them consistently. Like you become a creature of habit. And I think people that want to be extraordinary, they oversaturate themselves. I'm going to say that again. People oversaturate themselves. Like, you put too much on your plate. My life, listen, I own a full service production company. I got this MSC network thing that I'm doing. I'm on Tuesdays and Saturdays. I'm really busy, but I'm really simple. Does that make sense? My life is really simple. Like, it's not complicated. I don't complicate things. So my regiments or really, really, really simple. Like I eat at the same time every morning. I wake up at this. My habits are boring, but I can do them with my eyes closed. I can do everything over and over and over because I'm regimented. I'm really playing. Sometimes we just make things so complicated. Success is really simple. It is really, really, really simple. Just keep doing the same thing that gets you great results over and over and over again. And before you know it, you'll be the subject matter expert at that particular thing. If you work out and you do it the same way every time, before you know it, you'll be doing it and you'll be on the phone. You'll be talking and working out at the same time, not even breathing hard because it's muscle memory. You keep it simple. Keep it KISS. Keep it stupid simple. That is a very, very good question. Hopefully I answered that. Anybody have anybody have any questions for Veronica? Let me explain to you Veronica again. Veronica is my publicist. She's my go-getter, my pit bull. I also have Ariana, who's part of the network as well. She's on the chat room, and Yvette and DJ Red. Thank you guys. I have a powerful team, but I hold them extremely accountable. I really push them. Veronica was an average thinker with extraordinary gifts, very talented person who just had this really savvy ability to communicate with anybody. When I say anybody, I'm like, I send her out to get Lisa Nichols. Hey, get in touch with Lettucey. Get in touch. I'm saying she was like, what? Yes, go. And she went, and it's working. The moral of the story is she started out thinking that she was average and ordinary, and she would use the terminology, I'm just a plain Jane. No, you not. You're extraordinary, and I'm going to show you how. Do me a favor, go do these things. And then she did those things, and she was like, I can't believe. I'm like, well, I saw that in you. So everyone has something extraordinary, and that's why I'm saying, that's why I have her on the show, because she's in that transition where she's moving from basic to extraordinary, and it doesn't take a whole lot of work. It's just prospectively how you look at the world.
Yeah.
That's it. For you people that, the folks, my family that's listening, everybody that's listening, I consider y'all family. Um, Ask questions. Let me know what you think about this conversation. Is it helping you? Is it making a difference? Um, Zaza, you and your husband, you and CJ are extraordinary people. I know several extraordinary people. Trina Treasures started her business around the same time I started broadcasting, and she was just doing little basic stuff, and now she has to monitor her orders because sometimes she gets over inundated with requests. And to me, that's extraordinary because she turned nothing into something, and now there's a demand for what she does. That to me, that's extraordinary to continue to roll with that. So there's several people on here that are extraordinary. That I think all of you are extraordinary, but that haven't tapped into that yet. So I implore you to always try to figure out, because you know what, if for no reason at all, leave a legacy, have something to talk about, leave people something to talk about besides the basic stuff. Pursue whatever it is that you want to do, what you want to do. Chris got a comment here. You're right, Zaza. Everyone is good at something. With my heart, with every fiber in me, everyone is a subject matter expert at something. It could be just communicating, like me. What's my gift? My gift is this. Give me a microphone. I I encourage people, motivate people, move people through media. My microphone is my media. My music is my media. My cameras are my media. My videography is my media. I communicate through media, and I do it very well. And I didn't learn that until probably maybe less than 10 years ago. I realized that I was extraordinary. And when I started working on that, I find myself working with Microsoft. I found myself in other countries, speaking to to prime ministers and other people because I tapped into what was extraordinary about me. And it's not that I'm better than anybody on here. It's just that I wasn't afraid to stand in my own belief and what I was, my purpose. And you can do the same thing. You know, yeah, Trina say, still working on me. Keep working. Sharon, it's never too late, no matter what your age. And that's a true point because I have a mature audience. It's never too late to start whatever it is you want to do. Like I like to always say this, and I know y'all get tired of me saying it, but I always say, like, if you 50, 40, 30, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, a friend of mine just told me their parent turned 90-something years old. So if she stopped believing at 50, she wasted 40 years doing nothing. You just don't know when that day is going to come. So why would you sit around and wait for it? Live your life. Live your life. Whatever it is, it's never too late. Now, be realistic. You're not going to compete in a triathlon at 90 running against 20-year-olds. That's going to be a little tough. But be realistic. Maybe you can do it for people in your age group. Maybe you can be an advocate for whatever it is that you believe in that you feel like you missed out on. So for whatever reason, don't hold yourself back. Don't hold yourself back. That's a good point, Sharon. I'm going to close out, but I want Ronnie to give us your spiel. Let us know what you think about the whole extraordinary, ordinary thing.
Like you were saying, everybody is extraordinary. We have to tap into the ordinary people, have to tap into the extraordinary. I was speaking on my other job earlier about this morning early to a coworker about extraordinary. And I told him I was coming online. And I said, extraordinary is two words. There's extra, then there's ordinary. So when you bring them together, it's like extraordinary. So you got to do that extra work to be extraordinary. You got to get up, rise up. Don't be like me, ordinary. Wait until the last minute to be in a crowd, but believe in yourself. Get up, make the move. Plan your goals, your visions, and you just gotta work hard. You gotta believe within yourself. You know, keep moving. Have people like Rich that'll pour into you too.
Yeah.
So he's brought a lot out of me, and I appreciate him for doing that because I was like kind of like real reserved and keeping stuff on the inside, and he's like, "You can do it. Get up and do it." I felt like I was getting a whipping after a while, I was in my little feelings for a while. And he's like, "Get out your feelings." I was like, "Woo!"
Yeah.
But it worked. It worked. So I love what I do for the MSC network, and it's uh it's different, and I'm loving it. So I would say just reach for the stars, keep moving. Don't let nobody tell you no. When they do, don't take that no. Take it, put it in your pocket, and keep moving. Don't stop.
That's some pretty good advice. That's some very good advice. I want to make this comment before I leave. I'm gonna wrap up in a second, but Chris, um, you made a good point earlier. I must have missed it, but you said something that made sense. It says that um, he decided to be a silent mover when he realized that he's the only one responsible for making it happen. No unnecessary doubt, and no one trying to hold you back. So basically, that's exactly what I want to close out saying is that only you know what that thing is about you that makes you extraordinary. Move in
Mm-hmm.
silent because you are responsible for you. At a certain point in your life, there's no more rescues. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't do it, it won't be done. No one's going to come and get you and save you. And like Veronica said early on in the show, she wanted a break. She just wished somebody give her a chance. And I'm like, stop thinking like that. Create your opportunity. Be quiet. Move. Get it done. The moral of the story is the first step is the only one you need. The
Yep.
first step is the only step you need. And I'm not trying to make you become a subject matter expert or a big time business person or Tyler Perry. I'm just saying to become a better you, hold you more responsible, and that quiet voice in you that tell you that you can do, listen. And at the same time, when the voice is telling you you cannot do it, ignore it.
Yeah.
Know when to tell yourself to shut up and know when to listen to the voice that's telling you to go. Is that bottom line? It's in you. You hear it. There's no one on this line that is not extraordinary. There's nobody that's listening that's not extraordinary. The question that you got to ask yourself is, what am I doing about it? And how I'm going to live the rest of my life. Going into 2022, I believe is very important for us to kind of understand these type of things, because make realistic goals for 2022. If you make simple goals and be extraordinary while doing it and realistic, then you can reach it. You can reach it. And surround yourself around the right people. So with that being said, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Hopefully you found this topic to be very, very helpful. I try to drop nuggets every Tuesday, bring different guests and real people like Ronnie, my publicist, real people who are doing real things in the foundation of what we do on the network. Follow us and subscribe. It's about ordinary people. And you'll see that in my About Us page. Ordinary people that do extraordinary things. That's what we're all about here on the network. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe. Down below the chat, subscribe. Stay in touch with us. I'm going to be having some classes next year, and I would literally walk you through the steps on how I got from where I was to where I'm at, and show you where I'm going. And it didn't take anything besides me doing what I needed to do. And it wasn't about money. It wasn't about materialistic things. It was about everything that I had in me, learning to use the gift that I have and extraordinary pieces of me to become an extraordinary human being. And I dive deep into that. But register or at least subscribe below. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We are happy to have you on the show. I will see you tomorrow. DJ Red's going to be on at 8 o'clock tomorrow on the network. Just hit the tab where it says DJ Red. And I want to thank publicly my publicist, Veronica, for putting up with me as I push her. I want to thank her, give her a radio round of applause. And thank everybody that's on the line that tuned in. Thank you, Yvette and Ari, the other staff of the MSC Network. We appreciate y'all. Hopefully, y'all got something from this. Hopefully, y'all got something. Until the next time, we will see you. Y'all remain safe. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock. And if not, I'll see you Saturday at 7 o'clock. We're going to have a good time. I got a really good time. If you got a birthday coming up, let us know. Send us a picture, and we want to feature you for the month of December, all right? Happy birthday to everybody that's born in the month of December. Until the next time, love you guys. Thank you, Veronica. See you guys later.
rock and roll.